Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a front wheel brake job on this Opel Corsa C from 2003. As you can see, I already done this on the front wheel, on the right front wheel. Usually it's a good idea when you replace, for example, the brake pads, to replace as well the rotors, or when you replace the rotors, replace as well the pads, because these days are inexpensive and it saves you a lot of time. So the first step is to lift the car, the front of the car, and place it on jack stands. Then with a 17mm socket you can undo the bolts for the wheel and remove the tire like that. Now with a T30 socket, you've got down here a T30 bolt. It's a good idea to open it now at the beginning so you will know that you can open it. This is basically holding the rotor on the hub. This whole brake assembly is made from two parts, the caliper itself and this bracket. So first it's a good idea to open only the caliper, which is hold it on the bracket with a 12mm bolt on top and down here. So take a wire brush and clean up the bolt first. You'll definitely have some rust and deposits on it. And with a 12mm socket, place it on the bolt. Make sure that it connects very well there. Let's see the bottom one. Clean it up from debris. Once these come out, you should be able to pry out the caliper and make sure that you hold it and don't let it bounce on this brake line. Here it comes. Place the caliper on this suspension assembly. Now you can remove the brake pads. So I'm just gonna pry them out like that with a screwdriver. Make sure that you protect these little brackets where the brake pad will slide. Now you will have to remove the caliper bracket. So in order to do that, you gotta go from the back. And back here you'll find two another bolts, which of course you gotta clean them up first in order to reveal what type of bolts you have. It also seems like E20 is matching. But first, in order to get better access down there, I'm gonna turn the steering wheel. Usually these bolts are rusty and pretty much torqued down a lot. So I'm gonna use a breaker bar. Now I can continue with my regular ratchet. First one is out, second one is out as well. And finally the bracket comes out and the rotor as well. Now with a metal wire brush, give it a good clean around these contact points and on the hub. Especially if you have a lot of rust, then take your time and clean it up as much as you want. Before placing the new rotor, make sure that you use some copper paste on the hub, so next time when you remove the rotor it's gonna be easier. Now I'm gonna prepare this caliper bracket, especially on these contact points where the brake pads will slide. Sometimes when you order new pads, you might get these brackets on the package. In my situation, I didn't get them, so I'm gonna reuse them. There is no problem with that, especially if they look clean and nice like that. I'm gonna install back the bracket. If you want, remove first the old thread locker and place new one, because these bolts will basically take all the braking power from the car. If you have a torque wrench, go ahead and torque these bolts to 60 foot-pounds. Like that. Also keep in mind that if the bolts are lubricated, then the torque specs can be a little bit lower because you're gonna tighten it in more than it will be when the bolt is dry. Next thing you want to inspect are these sliding pins. This one looks good, it slides very easy, but the bottom one is a little bit hard to press in and out. So I'm going to remove it, just pull it out and use some silicone paste and place just a little bit on the pin, and that should make the pin go in and out easier. As you can see, it does. So now before installing the new pads, you can use some copper paste on these sliding points. Just make sure that you don't lubricate the surface of the rotor. Now you can slide the brake pads in. Goes like that. Now it's time to work a little bit on the caliper itself. What you need to do is to press this piston inwards, because now you will definitely have a wider braking material down here. So you can either use this special tool, the piston press, or most of the time you can do this with a adjustable plier like that. I can see it goes in there. You can see this metal plate has to go inside here. I'm gonna tighten this nut more like that. Put the plate on like that. There are many special tools like this, so it might vary. Once the piston is on, simply place it on the caliper bracket. And now you can install these 12mm bolts on the sliding pin basically. If you have a torque wrench, torque them to 15 foot-pounds. And I can place back the wheel. Right, so from this point you can go ahead and test it up, see how it drives, see how it brakes. I'm not gonna do that now because I've got further jobs to do on the back brake. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.